Pizza and Zombies, an original play by Brandon M. Prosek. This production was directed by Tess Holbrook and produced by Aaron Brokenbough and the Off Center for the Dramatic Arts in Burlington, Vermont. Inside a pizza restaurant, we see patrons eating and servers walking by. Peyton and Lexa walk out.
Bobby, just go carry the food shipment into the freezer.
I don't wanna.
Bobby, do it, or I'll put you on the morning opening shift for a week.
You know, when you use that tone of voice, you sound like an angry mom.
But Peyton?
No buts. I know mornings ruin how late you were out, visiting your favorite dollar store strip club. What were we talking about before he interrupted?
Yeah, your mom's side is totally coming out. I like it when you take charge.
Lexa touches Peyton's hand. Peyton dodges.
Oof. Usually I'm all about that, but not here. Too risky.
That's not what you said last week when we were alone doing inventory after closing and you wanted my face in...
Lexa! That was different. We were coming off 6 double shifts in a row, and I was mourning Carrie Fisher passing away.
She died years ago.
Doesn't mean it still doesn't affect me. I was very vulnerable, and it doesn't matter because, in that example, we were alone here. My never-ending student loan debt is too high to lose this annoying job.
Do you have plans after your shift tonight?
I have a date with my bed and sleep. They're real needy naggers. I give them a little taste almost every night, and they're always just begging for more.
I'm serious. Tonight, why don't you and I actually go out on a date? Let's just take a walk to the lake or go see a show. Something besides work, sleep, or Pilates.
You're right, who would want exercise? Kidding. We need that. It's a date. Can you take this food to table 10 and we'll brainstorm more what we'll do throughout the shift?
Yes, Mommy. Don't want to do wrong and risk a timeout.
You joke, but I'm confused how that is hitting me in an alluring manner. We need to revisit it.
Lexa walks over to a table. Sitting is Noelle and her wife, Sadie, who is pregnant. Lexa sets food down and exits.
Why was it so important we eat at this pizza place instead of one closer to our house?
Better crust. And Jared works here.
Noelle was mid-cut in her pizza when she flings the knife out of her hand and onto the floor.
So, this boyfriend of yours that I've explicitly said I am not ready to meet, would you prefer I make the scene now before he comes out or later?
If you even think about making a scene, I'll make a scene first. Scenes with pregnant women always grab attention. I'll fake, faint, really ham it up like I'm going into labor.
Don't you dare pull that card.
I'm pregnant. That gives me the right to be as boisterous and unreasonable as I want.
Just because a child is in you doesn't mean you should start acting like one.
I am not the one throwing knives. You knew you two would eventually meet.
I love you, and I'm very happy we opened up our marriage to be polyamorous so we could explore more connections, but I think I need more time.
Honey, you are heard, but funny thing about the time is I'm due in 11 weeks.
I figured I'd meet him the night the baby was born. That way I could hide my jealousy emotions by burying them under my emotions holding the baby. Cancel emotions out.
You can't cancel emotions out. He has been nothing but respectful and patient.
Gavin is sitting in a wheelchair. He's by himself with a single rose in hand. Lexa walks over.
Sir, do you know when the rest of your party will be arriving?
My blind date should be here in the next 7.5 minutes. Or so.
Are you excited to meet her?
It's our second date. She is literally blind.
Oh. Perhaps her driver got stuck in traffic.
My traffic app shows there are no accidents in a 20-mile radius and all public trains and buses are on schedule. That never happens. Never.
Fashionably late? Or perhaps she went to another restaurant with cheese in the title like ours. There's the Cheesy Chang's on Wabash. we're Cheesy Charlies. People confuse the two all the time. You could call Cheesy Chang's to check.
Your optimism is appreciated and will be reflected in your gratuity at the conclusion of my meal. If you could please return for my order placement in 6.3 minutes.
Entering from the front door is a homeless man.
Peyton, I think we have another homeless guy tweaking a bit over here.
Not again. Bobby, get over here. We need you to kick this guy out.
I'll be back, Jared. Ladies need my rescuing again. Oy vey. I have to do everything in this place. You heard the annoying lady with the ponytail? Gotta make like a tree and go outside to die slowly.
The homeless man reaches out to grab him, but Bobby avoids him. Bobby steers him towards the door, and an emergency beep, beep, beep comes from the TV.
My fellow Americans, this is a state of emergency. Time is of the essence, so I shall be brief. There is a biological virus sweeping the nation. Do not panic. Do not leave the building you are in. Barricade your doors and wait for the military to arrive and help you from this tragedy. This is not a drill. The outbreak is of... The outbreak is... Holy shelf of... buttocks! It's a zombie! Where is my Secret Service? McAllen! Where's Agent McAllen?
The president grabs a gun.
It's kill or be killed! Somebody save me! My legacy can't be the first president to be eaten alive on terrible places!
Did a zombie just bite our president?
Did our president just say holy shelf of buttocks?
Our commander-in-chief just gave an emergency address and was attacked by people trying to eat him, and that is what you took from it!
If he's not going to be known as the first president to be eaten alive, he's going to be known as the one who said holy shelf of buttocks on live television.
It was probably a comedy sketch. SNL is really reaching with this one.
The homeless man bites a server, Gregory.
Holy shelf of buttocks and zombies are real! I'm out of here!
Bobby runs to the door, but he stops.
We need to get this guy out of here and barricade the door!
Bobby and Lexa grab serving trays and start smacking the homeless man. It doesn't faze him. Peyton grabs a pizza cutter and jams it into the homeless man's head. He tips over. Another zombie moses in.
Oh, look out! There's another one!
Peyton and Lexa struggle to fight the zombie. Bobby is near the bitten Gregory.
Bobby, tell my story.
I will, Dean.
My name is Gregory.
Are you sure it's not Dean? You lost a lot of blood and could be confused.
I know my own name is Gregory.
You look like a Dean. You must not have shared shifts very often. I don't recognize you.
You trained me.
Shoot. Maybe I don't know your story. Don't worry. I'll wing it.
Curse you, Bobby.
Gavin rolls his wheelchair over and pulls out a small-sized sledgehammer to swing. But when he does, it causes him to spin wildly.
Everyone scatter your physical positions. I will terminate the zombified former human.
Ah! Where did you get that hammer? Did you bring that to the restaurant?
Peyton yanks it from his hands and then swings, cracks the other zombie in the head to fall over motionless. They all quickly shove the two dead zombies out the door.
We should remove this Dean's corpse, too, before he transforms.
He's right. Let's get Dean out of here.
It's Gregory. He just said
There's
it.
no time. Help us with Dean.
They slide Gregory's body out the door and lock it. Sadie walks over and grabs pizza from her plate and starts shoving it into her mouth.
Oh my good goddamn! What do we do? Zombies?
Relax, babe. We'll figure this out.
Relax? Oh, just relax. Clearly, zombies will allow me the ability to relax.
Inhaling pizza isn't going to make them go away. Maybe you should stop eating and just have a seat to catch your breath.
You have a seat and catch your breath. I'm totally fine eating.
That situation was cray. That was a situation. Peyton, you killed zombies with a sledgehammer and a pizza cutter. I've never been more attracted to you.
She seemed quite efficient with the lethal materials in ridding the zombies of their carnivorous appetites.
I'll drop you both with the next hammer if you keep talking.
Are you trying to say it's hammer time?
Peyton drops the hammer onto Bobby's foot.
May I suggest we refrain from heightened volumes and conversing that could spark violence amongst ourselves? Loud speaking could also lead to more zombies arriving.
The president told us to wait for the military. We're going to do exactly that. Key thing is, we have food. We just received our food supply shipment today.
She pulls up a clipboard.
May I examine that for some culinary calculations?
Are you suggesting we live with nothing but pizza?
Our establishment serves a wide variety of options, from pastas to soups, salads, and sandwiches. Would you like to hear our specials this month?
Shut up, Bobby. We have plenty of food options that can be split amongst us.
How long is that actually supposed to last us?
According to this culinary manifest, with proper rationization, we could survive approximately 370 days, under the assumption that none of us perish. If so, food could be distributed in larger quantities, and dead carcasses can be used for survival consumption.
How in the world could you know that?
I'm Gavin Gunther Gooper Stevenskiowski. You may not detect this from my exterior, but underneath contains an avid survivalist junkie with a high fascination for planning for such doomsday scenarios, including nuclear fallouts, winter tundra, alien abduction, Noah's Ark, robotic artificial intelligence takeover, and secret invasion from Bigfoot or unicorns. Under these categories falls zombification infestation. Is the rest of the living population in the establishment.
Back door opens as Jared enters whistling, while mopping with his headphones on.
Jared! Jared!
Sadie Snookums, what are you doing here?
Gavin takes out a recorder.
Zombie log day 1. Status is that? I seem to be trapped with 4 pizzeria employees and 2 customers, with a third on the way. By third on the way, it means one of the customers is 7/9 of the way through producing said third customer. We'll follow up with more details upon concluding this silence that fills the air with...
Don't worry, everyone. Help will arrive any moment.
awkwardity.
Gavin is in his chair alone, his sleeves ripped off.
Zombie log day 4. It's been 100 hours since the president proclaimed that zombies were in fact real. I'm left wondering when Peyton mentioning the help arriving any moment has turned from a possibility into humorous, and then into tragically incorrect.
Jared, Noelle, and Sadie are staring at him.
In other updates, Sadie's baby is expected in about 11 weeks according to our calculations. This is causing the atmosphere and mood to be in the awkward variety due to the revelation that Jared, one of the pizzeria's employees, is in fact the biological father and boyfriend to Sadie. Noelle, the wife of Sadie, had just met him the day of first sight of zombies. Although my fornication and courting history is brief, the idea of multiple partners seems to have many benefits.
Boy, we're all sitting right here.
Noelle does not care for my zombie log updates.
There are worse things he could be doing.
Gavin, can you give us a moment? We'd all like some time to talk.
I shall resume the log in due time. Very well. I shall assist the others with food preparations.
Let's focus on what's important. The three of us. I have allowed you time to process, but you've been avoiding talking to both of us for the last few days.
I haven't known what to say.
I don't want to be a mediator. You two get to know each other. I'm too distracted by the pizza smell wafting to be useful.
I'm a firm believer in communication. Ask me anything.
Are you in love with my wife?
Yes.
Wow, you didn't even hesitate with that. Many men I attempted to date were scared of commitment. You're Polly. How many people are you seeing?
Right now, just her. I've gone on dates with others and pursued other potential relationships, but no one has stuck. Have you tried dating others?
She probably told you I was very hesitant to opening our marriage, but It really has taken a lot of pressure off of me and her partnership. I've tried dating, but no one is interested in me. Can't find any man, woman, or any human that can stand me. Besides Sadie.
And that's why you were afraid to meet me. Afraid of losing her.
Well, isn't that the number one fear of every relationship?
In all the months her and I have been seeing each other, there hasn't been a single time she hasn't brought you up, Noelle.
Probably to complain to you about me.
Rare occasions, yes. It's mainly been wonderful things, as if she were trying to convince me to meet you. From what I've gathered, you seem like someone who is driven, loyal, and loving.
Say more nice things she said about me.
You're stubborn in a passionate way, an adorable laugh when things really catch you off guard, and, no matter what I try, no one is, as she quotes, killer in the sack as Noelle.
She didn't say that.
She did. There's no replacing you because you're her number one. Think about it like this. We both love her in our own ways, but it's not a competition.
Thank you for understanding that she is my world, and the idea of sharing our lives with someone is taking me time to adjust.
Take your time, because I'm not going anywhere. I'd like to be friends is all.
Pizza! We have the Bobby special. It has bacon, ham, sausage with extra mushrooms and Gouda cheese. I nickname it Pork in the Mother Shrooms for a Gouda time. You people look like you need a Gouda time, and stop looking blue. Get it? Like blue cheese? Too cheesy? You want me to ricotta it out? Have I prolonged this too long? I've fallen down a pun trap permanently. Should I get my camera? We could...
Say cheese. Is that what you're going to say we should say? Cheese.
I was gonna say we mozza get together to take a Polaroid photograph, but that's so much better. How did I miss that? Now I feel like a big old bottle of butt sauce.
Could have made a career out of that. Made some real, cheddar.
I didn't think of that one. Thought I had all of them. Dang!
Zombie Log Day 25. We are approaching the 1-month mark since our Barricade beginnings. This subject may be premature, but due to Sadie's pregnancy, I may propose cross-human pollination to help in the aid of human survival. I believe I have heard a common phraseology that goes to the effect of, the bird who is punctual may receive a worm reward for his earliness. My proposition is to be that I'm said worm for these ladybirds, or perhaps I'm the bird arriving not tardy for their worm. It could really be both. I shall decide on the exact metaphor before alerting the others.
How are you feeling? Have you been experiencing any contractions?
Bloated and sick of pizza, but no contractions.
We're really going to listen to that girl for medical advice? What is she, 20?
She went to nursing school.
Then what, dropped out to work at this dump?
If we were in a normal scenario, I'd retort with a verbal shade or a slap of words. I'm in my mid-20s, not that that's any of your business. Would you two like some privacy? Perhaps not always air out your dirty laundry in front of me.
Privacy where? The bathroom? Bobby is in there and has been for a long time, which leads me to believe he's either doing something putridly perverted or pervertingly putrid.
All I'm saying is maybe you shouldn't put all your eggs in the basket of a nursing student. No offense to you, Lexa, but did you graduate at least?
Offense a smidge taken. I never claimed to be an expert or a doctor. And no, I did not graduate. I was about a semester short of graduating. Couldn't afford it anymore.
Well, the zombie apocalypse came to wash all of that away from mattering, so those loans you've been using as a crutch of an excuse won't matter any more than a pair of boots.
That is a victory in many ways, but you're also forgetting that it means colleges and universities most likely won't exist, in which I'll never be able to get that degree.
Someone say something about boot degrees?
Fantastic entrance, Bobby. We're in the middle of something, so could you give us a second?
In all due fairness, Peyton, my wife and I were in the middle of discussing the health of our child, so could you give us a moment?
This isn't time for our thing anyway. There are more pressing matters.
Wait a minute. What's your thing? Is there something going on between you two?
Peyton and Lexa seem to be engaged in a courtship of the physical capacity. My hypothesis is that they were hiding it due to their employment status, for which it is probably against the pizzeria's policy for a manager to be stooping their subordinate.
Good for you, Lexa. Diving in deep, dealing with someone like Peyton who's been married to like 4 different dudes.
4 different guys?
Well, in my defense, I told you about 2 of them.
Well, pardon me for wanting to know that your ex-husband's just doubled. I mean, it's an honest mistake that can happen to anyone.
Don't worry. If you need to have a revenge screw against Peyton, I'd do that for you. Make her real jealous.
Shut up, Bobby!
What a fascinating turn of events.
You know, sometimes I don't think you guys take me very seriously.
If I may,
Just stop yelling at all of us, then we wouldn't be
everyone ready to eat?
Shut up, Bobby.
You should be listening to her
You know, I said the pizza's ready.
Do you ever just...
Bobby,
Hey!
Come on.
I said the pizza's ready.
Don't ruin this, Jared. I think we're about to see a tag team catfight or an orgy. Either way, I'm gonna need to excuse myself to the bathroom. Don't act like you all haven't taken a minute to go pepper your Ronies at least once.
Enough! What is wrong with all of you? Can't you see we literally have the population eating itself into extinction?
Look, I have something to say. I'm sick and tired of you all treating me like I'm trash.
My neck. A zombie bites Bobby in the neck.
Feta my cheese.
Bobby shoves the zombie off.
What in the anchovies? How did a zombie get in?
Bobby left the back door unlocked.
What?
What?
What? Got my neck.
Why wouldn't you lock it anyway? Is your brain divided into 2 sections labeled gross things to say and dumb actions to take?
Is this really the time for one of your berating sessions? Or maybe there's another young employee for you to sniff for sauce.
Engage in plan, Roger Alpha Maverick. It spells ram. Ram the zombie with my chair. Remember what we practiced?
A little distracted with the zombie bite and all.
Bobby shoves Gavin at the zombie as Gavin smacks it with some tongs tied to the end of a big pizza spatula. The zombie falls.
We shall bulldoze the zombie. Mush!
Huh. That was surprisingly not that hard. We handled that pretty well.
What do we do with Bobby?
What do you mean?
Don't play dumb for once in your life, Bobby! You were bitten!
I'll just put some ice on it.
Freeze! I have an alternative to killing Bobby. Who likes cold temperatured pizza?
Gavin sits in his chair with very greasy-looking hair.
Zombie log day 53. My experiment has continued to work. By leaving Bobby in the freezer for these last 28 days, the low temperatures has sedated his process of zombification. Unfortunately, with 0 news of military or medical assistance, his life expiration date could be approaching quickly. Discussions have been broached, terminating him with the intention of preventing spreading the virus. The vote remains at an even standstill of 3-3. Bobby does not have a vote in the situation due to his obvious favoritism towards living, so he can provide us with disgusting anecdotes. Furthermore...
Cut it out! I thought we agreed you can only do your zombie logs when I'm sleeping, so...
I'll just finish my thought. Zombie log day 53 continued. The baby's breach is expected in just a couple of weeks. Names of said baby were a high-tension debate for the last week, as the finalists have landed on Jared Jr., so the baby could be called JJ, and...
No, not JJ. The decision is only up to Noelle, Jared, and I. You don't get a vote.
Just let him finish so we can move on.
Other name finalists included Hadleafy, Zaylee, Fletcherkle, Rock'em Sock'em, Sarah, and the name that I nominated for my vote, which was Quinn Quinley Quinn Quinn.
We are never going to use Quinn Quinnily Quinn Quinn. And none of those were actually finalists. Those were all just your suggestions.
I shall continue Zombie Log when the other occupants are asleep to prevent interruptions.
I think it's refreshing every now and then. It's like a radio announcement since we haven't heard those in over a month. Or even like a narrator to our life.
He did bring up a point. I think we should discuss what we're doing with Bobby again. I'm calling a vote. We said we would if there were no improvements.
Pizzeria population. Peyton is calling another vote over the potential termination of Bobby so we can prevent his spread of the zombie virus. All those in favor of?
Peyton, Gavin, and Sadie all position themselves to one side. Lexa, Noelle, and Jared moved to the other side.
Aye.
All those who oppose.
Nay.
Nay.
That's another 3-3 tie. That marks a tie for the 33rd time. I open the floor for arguments for termination or against.
You're not some judge. Stop speaking like you're in charge.
I'll strike that from the record, but please continue with your motion.
Look what's happened the 2 times a zombie got in here. On day 1, we lost Dean.
You mean Gregory?
Potato, potato. Another zombie got in, it bit Bobby, and already sentenced him to die. We've been prolonging it in the freezer. Why are we waiting?
Like you used to say, we're waiting for the military to show up.
If we keep waiting, we could be dead by the time they show up. What if Bobby turns into a zombie and bites us while we're sleeping?
He is a risk to all of us. Would he do the same for us?
Knowing Bobby, he probably would have tried to kill some of us living too for food.
You don't know that.
I know him better than anyone here, and he's no hero.
And you are?
I stepped up when we were attacked. I'm the manager of the restaurant, and maybe I should just be the manager of our group, because otherwise we are all going to suffer.
We've been over the leader idea too. Haven't we all read Lord of the Flies?
That's completely different. That was about children.
I'm going to have to ask that the prosecution and defense stay on topic.
How about I sentence your idiot judge joke to my palm swiftly across your face?
Why do you want to kill Bobby so bad?
I don't want to kill anyone. If anything, I wish we could have gone on our date we were going to go on before this all went to hell.
Believe me, I wish I could too, but this is certainly showing me a side of you I never would have found out on a trip to the lake. If you were the one bitten, you'd want us to kill you?
Well, stay on topic.
This is the topic. We're talking about murder.
Is it murder if he's already dying? Maybe it's mercy. Gavin, you think he's going to turn into a zombie no matter what, right?
According to my calculations.
Calculations? What calculations? Was I asleep the day Gavin told us he had a medical degree in zombie health and biology?
I am more than qualified by all the research I have learned from numerous online threads, posts, and books.
You mean fan fiction?
Was it? Was it fiction, though? Is it still fiction if it's happening? Everyone seemed to find my studies so hysterical and fake. Well, zombies aren't so fake, now are they?
And what happens if you do decide to kill him and then help arrives? Do you plan to live with that death for the rest of your life?
I plan to live for the rest of my life, which I may not be able to do if Bobby starts nibbling on us when we least expect it.
We aren't doing it because the vote is tied. We all agreed the majority will decide.
That's not exactly true now, is it? We've been at a tie, yet he's not being killed, so you 3 are getting your way.
Getting our way? Are you hearing yourself right now?
We can't exactly halfway kill him so both sides are happy.
Could we?
I'm serious.
As am I. There is a compromise in the middle that will leave all 6 of us satisfied. I'm proposing we don't terminate him, but he does not remain here in our presence. We vote him off the island and release him out the back door.
You may as well be killing him. All we've seen coming and going? We may not be pulling the trigger, but we're just as guilty.
The probabilities of this group being the only survivors out there is highly unlikely. He could navigate his own way or perhaps locate another pack of survivors.
We can't
It's
seriously
not the worst
be
idea we've
entertaining
ever
this.
had.
He could harm
I'm
us if he
disgusted
becomes
by
a
Bobby
zombie.
like the rest of you, but I
He's
don't
been
want to
locked
kick
in there
him
for
out
a
into
month.
the apocalypse.
I didn't see you coming up with any better
There's always
ideas.
Based on our
another
previous
choice.
33 voting sessions,
We should be coming
this
up
seems
with
to be
options,
the most
not
logical
just jumping
Who
on the
are
only
we to
few we
decide
could
what
You
do.
would have
happens to
booted
him?
him out long ago if any of you were pregnant.
You're extremely hormonal. You could not be thinking straight.
Oh,
Don't
excuse
pull
me?
on that hormone. Fred.
I still can't believe we started this.
That's the alarm. We all reached an agreement to cease mocking this ritual, okay?
It just doesn't make sense.
Of course it does.
What's the point of surviving the zombies out there if we are going to go crazy with cabin fever and harm one another in here?
Yes, but we were in the middle of...
Enough! If this zombification infestation is going to pass, we need to remember life before, when some of us were just patrons and some of us were employed here.
We're going to have an hour where we all pretend that there are no zombies, and we are just normal people. Starting now.
You know what I was just thinking about? You never told me more about the girl who was going to come in as your blind date before this all started.
Ah. Her name was Willow. We had met on an online dating application service. Our first date was pretty satisfactory, if I do say so myself.
What did you like about her?
I suppose I enjoyed that because she was in fact blind, she did not fixate on her appearance. She exuberated confidence. The ironic thing was she looked magnificent. She had no idea. You know, on account of her not being good at looking. Being blind.
I get it. She sounds like a catch. I'm sorry she never showed.
Perhaps she was en route during the outbreak. May I inquire something? What is it that draws you to Peyton? Is it the forbidden aspect because she was your superior?
Everyone enjoys doing things they know are wrong, but that was only when we started. I guess I've liked how, despite our age difference, she still treats me as an equal. She used to always listen to me, and even when we fought, I knew she cared.
Do you think you two will continue your courtship?
I'm more concerned with all of our safety. I fear staying here will be a mistake. We're trapping ourselves into this sense of security when there could be somewhere to go to find help and escape.
Were you feeling trapped because of the zombies or because you were financially trapped in this pizza restaurant from your future?
Are you trying to go psychologist on me?
Psychology was a subject matter I've studied in fascination.
You can ask questions, but please don't go trying to psychoanalyze me. That's not what friends do to each other.
If a friendship is what we share, my intention is to help with these questions. If you'll indulge me for a moment, from what I've gathered, you possess generosity and intellect. I've deduced that your weakness is that you won't take the proverbial leap of faith.
You don't... That's not...
Thank you.
Excuse me?
Thank you for not responding with anger or physical violence.
You think I would hit you?
People do not often allow me to bestow my opinions upon them. You may not be keen on me stating what I did, but you provided the opportunity for me to give it. Out of everyone in the group, you refrain from treating me like I'm a complete imbecile.
We're all imbeciles in our own way. You think a little differently than some of us, but I can tell you do it with good intentions.
You have positive intentions as well. Do not permit the individuals who do not agree with your opinions to sway you from following what you believe is right.
Thank you, Gavin.
You are quite welcome. I was going to inquire something else. I was planning on requesting your opinion on procreation between ourselves so we may assist in continuing populating the Earth.
That's a good one, buddy. Oh, you're not joking.
Continuing the human race is not a joke in my eyes.
I'm going to go get us some pizza.
Believe me, if there was a way to duplicate myself, I would. I've tried.
You know what I miss most about outside this restaurant?
Beds?
Yes! I'm never going to even complain about a futon again.
I'm just happy the restaurant had a picnic-themed day where we had all of the blankets in storage at least.
I miss when we'd grill on your deck at your apartment.
There's something about when it's later at night and the city actually quiets down. The cars, the buses, the horns honking, the construction noises, and all the people just simmer for a short while. It becomes quiet.
Noelle sneaks up from behind. They don't hear her. She waits for a moment to listen in.
I am very lucky to have you. Having you and Noelle and this baby are all I'll ever need. You're my family.
Do you think about your family? You've never really told me about them before.
I don't think about them because I'm not obligated to give them energy anymore.
Religious nuts that didn't accept you two?
No, being queer wasn't a problem. They were toxic on their own for many reasons. I moved away and left them because I gave them 30 years of my life. 30 years of pain, anxiety, stress, and enough tears to drown you with.
I'm sorry. I had no idea.
Oh, don't be. I saved myself when I finally accepted that just because someone is related by blood doesn't mean I have any sort of tie to them if it is causing my harm. I focused on finding those who supported and pushed me instead of dragged me down. My team. I think that's Noelle and you. You two are my favorite people.
You're one of my favorite people, too.
Jared and Sadie kiss.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
You were fading back to listen for compliments, weren't you?
Maybe. Did I miss any?
Just that you're one of my favorite people. I'm going to go try and lie down for a bit. You two talk more. Bond.
Conversation shouldn't be that hard. Pretend we were out at a park. We can talk about the weather. Except, can't really see the weather.
Try again. I don't have any siblings. How about you?
Me either. What's your favorite color?
I'm colorblind.
What's that like?
What do you mean, what's that like? I don't know how it is to not be colorblind.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Was actually taught both ways.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Oh, it is just a regular fascifricinating conversation. I've never met a guy who is as completely mellow, laid back, and sincere. Most guys I know would either be running for the hills or causing some sort of scene on the daily for drama's sake.
With most guys being dumb, sometimes it was an advantage just to be normal.
I feel guilty for partially hoping you two would break up. Well, not partially, I totally did hope you two would break up.
That's a fair reaction to have when you first move from monogamous to open.
Maybe if I found another partner, I wouldn't feel so anxious. What about you? Don't you wish you had found someone else to be with when Sadie was spending time with me?
Absolutely. You worried about me replacing you? I'm worried about being just a boy toy for her to use for a bit until she's bored, and then focus back up with you.
If you were a boy toy, she probably wouldn't have kept the baby.
Unless this was all some sort of ruse. Have I been roosed for my sperm?
Believe me, Sadie could pull that off if she wanted. It's not the case, though.
You said I always seem so mellow and happy. I'm like that because of my father. He died in his 50s. It was nothing complicated. He was in shape, he ate well, no real family disease. It was stress. Stress bottled up over the years that eventually took him over. I decided that I would shed away all the little things that could do the same to me, so hopefully I could live the longest and happiest of lives. I've told that to some people and they think it's a bunch of baloney. Kind of like how you think I have some other motive. You're searching for a problem, but you're causing a problem by searching. You could embrace my approach to trying to minimize stress. For your child and for yourself.
I appreciate you being so compassionate. For understanding that this has taken me a while to process. It's very appreciated.
Patience is something we'll all have to have because we're stuck together.
I suppose I could be stuck with worse people.
We really could be.
Could you do me a favor?
Potentially. What is it?
Noelle leans in and kisses Jared. They break the kiss.
Just checking.
How you feeling in there?
What do you want, Peyton? Seeing if I'm dead yet so you don't feel guilty killing me?
What are you talking about? Why would I want to kill you?
This freezer door may be pretty thick, but it's not soundproof. Your rants in the past were always amusing in some fashion, but hearing you try to convince people that I should die got old real fast a couple of dozen vote sessions ago.
I'm just trying to keep the rest of us safe.
Very noble. Safety through murder. Is that an oxymoron?
Maybe if you weren't so immature, gross, and sexist to the rest of us, you'd have a better case for making me care about what we do with you.
You never exactly treated me with respect either. You have one of those superiority complexes.
I have what?
Superiority complex. You know what I mean? However you say that thing that's a permanent metaphorical stick up your butt like you're better than all of us.
Superiority complex?
You looked down on me from the moment we started working together as servers. We get it. You deserve better. I never have felt bad for you, and I never will. Sucks being a manager for ding-dongs like me? You hate being stuck at the bottom of society with us who work at a restaurant? Get another job. You think you're better? Then go be better and stop talking about it.
Don't make this about me!
What are you gonna do, kill me? You already have that on the menu, honey.
I came to keep you company, and you're attacking me.
Stop playing the victim. You've all been discussing my death for weeks and never asked what I wanted to do about it. Half of these people in here haven't known me for more than a couple months, and you've convinced them to kill me. See how insane that is?
What do you want us to do with you?
I want you to give me a final wish. Since you plan on executing me, I think I deserve it.
What do you want?
I was thinking for one last time...
I'm not sleeping with you, Bobby. I may not actually want you dead, but I'm sick of living with you.
Whoa, I was kidding. Sheesh. That's not actually what I want.
One shot at this. It better not be gross, so make it count.
I want to be held. I'm completely serious. I swear on whatever you want me to swear on. I've never been held.
Bobby.
I've had my years of drunken, stoned, or coked out, regretful nights. Most of them were nothing but something for me and the girl to do while we weren't in our right minds. Even the ones I did care a tiny bit for. None of them wanted to cuddle. It was a rotation of them wanting me to leave, them leaving me themselves, or them passing out. I know I'm gonna die, Peyton. Before I go, I'd like to remember what it feels like to be held and see what normal, functional people were raving about in relationships. Please?
Okay. Don't say a word.
Bobby smiles as he lets his face rest on Peyton's shoulder. Peyton shoves Bobby off.
Sorry, bad joke. I'm just kidding. Hug a little longer.
Do that again, and I'm ending you!
Thank you for listening to part 1 of Pizzas and Zombies. Tune in again to hear parts 2 and 3. This production would not be possible without the generous donors to the Off Center for the Dramatic Arts. Consider donating today at offcentervt.com to keep the arts alive and the zombies at bay.